one thing that I've definitely, what we do is we definitely invite each other. Always, whenever we're hanging out with that opposite sex friend,
Right.
I'm always telling my friends, hey, it's me and her coming. We're a package deal. It is what it is. So it just kind of eases her mind and stuff like that. And so she's a little bit more comfortable. If I do go out with them by myself, they know who they are. They met them. She's met them multiple times. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of gives her a little bit of ease of mind. But when it comes to like have our friendships changed, yeah, just because we're so young. I just feel like, you used to get the text like, yo, what's good for the night? You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
now it's kind of,
You'll get that text every day.
it's a package deal now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just going out by myself. So.
And your friends think that you don't want to go. They're probably like, oh,
Exactly.
he's not going to go.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's married.
Exactly.
Exactly. They don't want to do that, Yeah.
Exactly. If you look on Instagram, like, oh, dang, no.
It's me. I want to go.
You're right at home.
So,
But yeah, that has been like an adjustment, I think, because I mean we are so young and like pretty much all of our friends are single, so that has been an adjustment, because even in school we're so used to like going our separate ways and hanging out with our own separate friends, and then coming back and it's like we are a package deal now. I want him to always feel comfortable like around my friends, and having that understanding. Okay, if he doesn't feel so comfortable, then you kind of have to cut things off, because like he's my main priority in our marriage. And so I think it has been a slight adjustment. Yeah, but not in a bad way.
Right.
In a way where you respect your spouse's opinion, or you respect how their feelings are, because at the end of the day, like, it's us.
Yeah,
So.
that is true.
I mean, and it's not a point of where you have to, cut off your friends either, because you still have to be, although you are a married couple, you're still individuals.
Exactly.
So you still have
That's
to
so important.
maintain your individuality. You still have to maintain, your set of friends, and you still have to do things, separately.
Mhm.
But again, it comes back to the point of, the person, your spouse has to be comfortable that
Exactly.
although you're not there, although that person's not there and you're hanging out with your friends that may be single,
Right.
that you're still going to conduct yourself accordingly,
Exactly.
because you know that, how it could impact your household. So you've got to be able to still maintain that trust and say, hey, he can go hang with his friends, but I know that he's not going to do the things that his
Exactly.
friends may be allowed to do at this point, because they're single. He'll draw the line at some point and be responsible and say, hey, you know what, y'all have reached the point now where you're going to do what you do as a single man. See, I'm going to go back to the house and not go along with me tag on and relive. So but you still need to have friends, because it's just human nature that we still have to connect and do male bonding just like you have to do female bonding.
Yeah.
So it's just knowing that person and having enough trust in that person that they're going to still maintain the integrity of your relationship
Exactly.
when they are away from you. So friends are still important. Very
Yeah.
important
Very.
to keep your balance too, because
Yeah.
you had a life and you had friends before you got
Exactly.
together. Although you guys are
Yeah.
very young, you still existed before you became the one package.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's something I have to like remind myself sometimes, because I'm just like so used to being like, okay, best friend, like let's hang out, like let's go together. Yeah, exactly. But I had to learn, like we are still individuals, like, and we still have to do our own thing. Of course, like I'm selfish sometimes. I'm like, no, like I want to hang with you, or like just stay home with me. But like you said, individuals, like that's very important to you still have your own life, and I still have my own life. But we come together and we respect each other, and we have integrity and love for each other, and we would never want to disrespect our spouse.
Right. You still have to have, you still have to go through life and have life lessons
Exactly.
without the other person.
Yeah.
So that you can continue to grow and then bring that back and share it. But you can't get that lesson as an individual if you're always attached.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that I'm advocating that now, you
No.
gotta start spending more time away from each other. But no, there are moments where, Yeah, it's okay to
Yeah.
still
But you're
be with
still
your friends.
doing the marriage,
Mhm.
so, you know, you're always gonna be together from, you know, after a while. You're like, okay, well, yeah, you can go. Go ahead. Yeah, buddy, go right ahead. Go right ahead, you know, yeah. Sometimes when he says, I'm gonna go, I'm like, oh, good, great. And he goes, and I sit in the house and I'm just like, oh,
Yes,
I don't do anything. I just sit
I
there.
don't have to hear.
And I just like, wow, there's nobody here but me. This is awesome. This is
Exactly.
great, you know, and you like it. You just like it.
Yeah,
Like,
you
wow.
enjoy it. Have
You
to-
enjoy that moment for yourself. You're like, wow, no one's asking me nothing. No one's asking me, what's dinner ready yet? Or, you're like, oh, nobody, just you.
Right.
You've got the TV to yourself.
Yeah, the TV, no one.
Flip the
I don't have to watch. I don't have to watch the football if I don't want to watch it. You know, so I was like, okay, it's all good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You don't have to have the heat on 200.
Yeah.
Yes, Lord Jesus.
Since I had the heat all up, he comes in the house, he's like, oh, he turns it back down, he's like, oh.
Right, right.
Back already?
Yeah, I said, oh, man, I was just getting comfortable here.
You just had your room set to how I wanted it.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
It's all
important.
good.
It's important to maintain it.
but it's all good.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so elaborate on a time that challenged your relationship or marriage. How did you handle the conflict or situation? How did you grow together and individually?
I've had several conflicts.
Yeah, we can start this. If you guys
Go ahead,
think.
yeah.
So one challenge that we had was when Lauren was when she kind of came back from playing basketball overseas. She was kind of having trouble, kind of just finding her identity, just because she was awesome basketball player, played overseas, what I'm saying, but she didn't like it overseas, so she just came back. And now she was kind of just trying to figure out, what I'm saying, so like, what's next? What's next for me? Because basketball was my life from 5 to 25, what I'm saying, what's next after life of life after basketball. And so, what I'm saying, so she was just trying to, what I'm saying, kind of, find herself and kind of, figure out where she wanted to work, what she liked to do, where she should apply to the job. So, so she was having trouble finding a great job that she liked, and so she was home a lot, and, so I would get home after working, and she would just be so happy to see me, just, hey, what's going on? And I'm just tired from work, what I'm saying? And so I would just kind of say, hey, just kind of, not give her that emotional support that she needed, just because I was just physically tired, right? And so during that period, we definitely had a time. It was definitely challenging, just because she was struggling, trying to figure out, her next steps in life, where I was, trying to make sure that I kept the household down while she figured that out. And I didn't know that she needed, that emotional support was so important to her, what I'm saying?
Right.
Until later, she was like, we just had a conversation like, hey, I just feel like, when you come home, I don't feel appreciated, just because when you come home, you're so tired and you go to sleep. I said, okay, because as a man, like you said, we're so, black and white analytical, right? So you go home, you go to work, bring the baby home, and pay the bills, you know what I'm saying? And the emotional thing doesn't really come into play. And so what I've learned, during that situation was that my wife doesn't care what happened at work. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Once I get home, I just need to leave work at work and just, come home to her and, give her all the emotional support that she needs. Just because I realize that marriage is a job as well. So when you clock out from your corporate job,
Yeah.
you're clocking right into, to your job at home. So that was one of the challenges that definitely that we faced early in our marriage. That we definitely had. We're working on and we're definitely trying to overcome. So yeah,
That's a good thing.
Yeah. I think that the communication piece, was huge, during that time, because there was so much I felt like I needed, but I kind of bottled that up and would just get upset and kind of clam up and not really truly express what I truly needed from him. So it wasn't really 100% clear of what, I needed, and he didn't know what I needed, and so he would just go to sleep, and I would just be upset. And so I think that finally getting to that point of where it's like, okay, I need this from you. Because I'm at a point now where it's just like, I've never felt like this in our relationship, and it's kind of like we're hitting this brick wall that we're not really used to. And so that uncomfortable feeling of just not being used to being at odds with one another was something that was very tough, and learning how to communicate in a way that's not always just positive and just like happy-go-lucky like all the time, and just being completely authentic and honest with each other was like a true breaking point for us, and I think we've been the better for it. Yeah.
Probably, I guess it kind of goes back, one of the biggest challenges and one of the things that, just listening to the two of you to think about how I dealt with it and how I probably misstepped was I had lost a job, and I was out for almost a year. And going through that time with, I've already talked about the analness of the finances, so with being out and not being able to do that sort of thing, I think I kind of put myself in her role of wanting to do it for her, and saying that here's what we need to do to be able to get through this sort of thing, and that created quite a bit of conflict with me trying to now come over and bring my style of managing what I felt was now the household budget and dealing with it and wanting to do it my style when I wasn't contributing anything to it. And she got really way more offensive and defensive about it. And it led to us not having the ability to communicate. Because she would shut down and I became angry. So when she wanted to come to me and say anything or ask about how was the job search thing come on, all I could think about was the financial piece of it and how you blocked me out. So I blocked her out of everything on my side. I had no emotions anymore. I didn't have any feelings. All I could think about was, getting back to where and why am I here, instead of, bettering myself and internalizing and understanding why I was in that position. I took it out all on her and blamed that, why are you asking me this? When I tried to offer my help, you didn't want to take it.
Right.
So why are you asking me now? So why are you asking me about anything, since if my advice on this isn't good enough, why are you asking me about anything else? And totally disregarded all the other things and all the other responsibilities that I had as a husband in the house. I shut down on all of it. So by just that one challenge, it created a whole nother set of issues, and it created education challenges as well. And some of those things we still struggle with today, because sometimes you can say some things that once it's out there, is out there. And but just getting through that period, it created a lot more issues than what it should have, because I didn't rely on, again, I got away from the point that, with the fact that this was my friend, and I wasn't receptive anymore to anything she was trying to tell me once she rejected me on what I thought was my way of doing things, and totally forgot that we were in that situation because we didn't see things the same way, and I should have relied on trying to be more of a team player than to be a dictator and saying my way is right, because it wasn't right. Just that was a major challenge that we had to get through.
But we got through it.
And then, like they say, the two biggest issues or challenges you're going to have is the finances and the communication. So if you can always remember, that if you got a plan that works, stick to it. And if you always remember that you got to communicate through it all, and don't take things personally. And again, that's your friend that's talking to you, not someone that's
Exactly.
I lost that point.
Yeah.
I just saw her, you shooting at me like everybody else is, and I was just defensive about everything, because you're used to a guy, you're da-da-da-da-da, and when you're not able to do this, then you just everybody's the enemy now. Why are you blocking me out? Why is this not working? Why is this? I know I can do this. And then when it's not happening, you just get very, very aggressive and defensive towards everyone. And since she's there every day,
Right.
there it is.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to get out the house and be around anybody else, so I just say this all up front. So conflict and being able to, to resolve it. We have to learn from that one experience, taught me to have to take a deep breath and realize that she's not causing the issue, something else is, but you're gonna need her to help you resolve
Right.
it since you guys are supposedly one unit. So you can't get away from thinking that you got all the answers. Oh, I thought I did. It just created more problems.
Yeah, I think we're wrapping up with the last question. Any questions you would like to ask one another or possible advice towards one another?
You got any questions?
Are you planning on having any kids anytime soon?
She said a question to me, not to them.
You question for one
She
another?
said to me, yeah. You asking them people about that? It's to them?
Yeah, see?
Oh, I thought my bad.
See?
I'm trying to be protective of them. Why you going with that stuff like that? All right, go ahead.
No, so you're actually expecting your first child. You're expecting your first child.
Yes.
Thank you, yeah, so the due date's in July, so.
Oh, that's awesome.
Congratulations.
That is awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, we're excited.
Doesn't matter, boy, girl.
It doesn't matter.
She wants.
I feel like it's a boy though. I mean, I want a girl, but I feel like it's a boy. I don't know why.
You want a girl.
I don't really care. I just want to have a baby.
Gotcha.
You know? 10 fingers, 10 toes.
That's all you need. That's all. That's right.
You know.
Well,
See, that was a good question I asked.
just as a father of both,
Boy
the
and
little
girl.
girl especially.
Oh, no.
She changes your perspective on the world.
Mhm.
That's what it is.
What about the son?
Again, you treat the son as he's just a dude. So you gotta.
That's his, you just a
He's
dude.
a guy, but it's not as. Again, it's not that you don't love the son, but as a father, you're thinking you gotta try to. It's a different set of rules. You gotta make him responsible and make him, understand that you have to step up. You have to provide. So it's a different sort of a parenting that you do with the son versus a daughter.
Moms love
Yeah, so he'll turn So he's
Yeah.
son goes to the mom.
Yeah, mom.
He's gonna get that nurturing that
Uh-huh.
we should be giving him as a father. We love you, son. We got all that, but he's not gonna get the true mushy feeling stuff unless he goes to mom.
Right.
Whereas with a daughter, it's natural for us to do that because we're dealing with a woman. So we have to share those emotional feelings and words and things. So your little girl, boom, it comes naturally to you to do that to her. So just warning you before you know how the relationship's gonna be, and then girls are normally daddy's little girls for the most part.
Yeah.
Great
I'll be
advice.
quiet.
That's great advice.
But yeah, that's the difference in parenting. You want to be protective of them when you feel like, you're okay, I got you here. You go ahead and step up and do what you gotta do. I'm here for you. But you gotta, man up and do it. So. Any questions of us?
No, gave us the advice. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Take it all.
Yes.
You just look like you want to.
Oh, no,
want to ask?
Sure. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you.
Great to meet you all.
Yeah.
Pleasure.
Yes.
Nice meeting you.
Nice
Yes.
to
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Nice to meet you.
All right. So we're gonna be cozy.
Hi, we're the Carters.
Hi, we're the Coopers. Remember to always be cozy.